I've already asked them to stay where they are. Normally, I'd ask the kids and anybody who's feeling childlike to come to the front, but it's a video today. It's a story, and so you got a much better view where you are. February is Black History Month, and so each week as the Learning Together, we're telling a story that shines a light. This week's story actually shines a light in a kind of an interesting way because it's not about actions necessarily, and it's not about words. It's about music. This is a story about Oscar Peterson as a child. And if you're not familiar with Oscar Peterson, shame on you. What kind of Canadian are you? Oscar Peterson is a legendary, considered one of the greatest jazz pianists of all time. He was from Montreal. And he grew up in a time when it was very difficult for people of color to find their way, no matter how talented they were, no matter how brilliant they were. And I have a little bit of a story about Oscar Peterson. And again, if you're not familiar with him, you should look him up and listen to some of his music because it's absolutely amazing. When I graduated from the University of Toronto in 1985, yes, it was that long ago, they were giving an honorary doctorate that year, an honorary degree to Oscar Peterson. And if you've heard me tell this story before, I'm sorry, but it's such a great story. So he came up and he received his degree, and then, as was customary, the chancellor of the university invited the new recipient of the honorary degree to address convocation. And Dr. Peterson came up to the podium and he walked right past it, and he sat down at a piano and he played for about 10 or 15 minutes, and he was fantastic, of course, because he's Oscar Peterson. There was an article about that in the university newspaper that week, and the reporter, after convocation, had asked him why he didn't take the opportunity as a prominent figure in the Black community to talk about how he was treated, and to talk about how things need to change, and to talk about his experience, his journey through all of that. And his reply was, "I did. Weren't you listening?" This is a story about how, as a child, maybe things weren't necessarily headed in the direction that he thought they were, but he found his way anyway. This is called Oscar Lives Next Door.